friend Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This one, I knew I'd heard the name and I'd written it down, but I couldn't remember why. And once I got it, I was like, oh, yeah. And what I'm talking about is the band Temic, and they have an album called Terror Management Theory. And the reason I was excited to get this one, and I'd forgotten, was because Eric Gillette is the guitarist in it. He is the guitarist for the Neil Morse band, and I'm a huge fan of Neil Morse, and I actually couldn't remember why I had heard of this band, but this band also has keyboardist Diego Tejedia from Devin Townsend, and he was in Haken for a while. There's the singer I'm not familiar with. His name is Frederick Bergerson Klemp. He's from a band called Marathon, which I'm going to have to check out after this one because I had not heard of that band. And drummer Simon Sandness from Shining. I've heard them, but I'm not extremely familiar with their stuff. But anyway, so getting into this, first put it on, and it started with like an intro type thing. And I was like, oh, not one of these. It didn't really do much. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of like stuff like that. I don't know if anybody out there thinks the same as I do. Feel free to comment on that. Which is kind of funny because one of the bands I was in, our album opened with an intro, and it was actually my idea. So I know I'm a hypocrite for saying this, but I don't know. Sometimes that loses me, and this one didn't really do a whole lot. So I was like, oh, all right. But then it kicks into the first song, which is called Through the Sands of Time, and my opinion was completely changed altogether. Still don't care for the intro, but holy crap, was the song amazing. It didn't just kick in, like I was thinking it was going to. It was like actually kind of mellow. The singing was really laid back, and I was like, oh, this is a different style of singing. And it just kind of, it was like a moody type song, and it gradually built, but it didn't really ever like just kick in. But from that point on, it's like just all out, like all cylinders firing on 10 or whatever. It was just like crazy. It's hard to describe what this was, what style of music this is, because it combines so many different things together. And it's like took these big atmospheric type sounds and has this great melodies and like these really intricate progressive lines like just interwoven throughout the whole album. It's and the singing from that point on got a lot stronger. He still, he does the range of his singing was like explored immensely through this whole thing. He started out really mellow, which is a weird way to start an album, I thought, but he really gets into full voice stuff. There's no like harshness or anything to it. He's got a very pure sounding voice. Does a little bit of falsetto later on, but he's got different moods and emotions through his singing throughout this whole thing. I was really impressed with the singing on this, and the songwriting's tight. And I'm not a fan of gent music at all, but when there's a couple sections where it gets like djenty and it works great, and it's got this gent thing going on with like it gives you this feeling of anticipation, like, oh, what's coming, and it worked great. It just gave that perfect amount of tension that you needed to release into the next section. And another thing I liked about the songwriting is they get the intricate parts. I know a lot of these progressive bands, they get in the habit of like just changing up the rhythm on like whatever the lowest tune note of their guitar is. It's usually open D tuning or lower. And Dream Theater, one of my favorite bands, they're like really notorious for doing this. They'll just stay on one note and just like change up the rhythm and do all this cool little off beat stuff. And these guys do it, but they're changing the chords and actually doing progression along with doing that. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I've been waiting for a band to do that, and they do it. So cool. There's one of the highlights on here is a song called Friendly Fire, which just has some of the most amazing keyboard solo work I've ever heard, and the guitar work on this is insane. They just play like these intricate things all together. It's Dream Theater-ish, but definitely their own style, definitely have their own sound. I don't know, and none of the songs are like overly, epically, long or anything like that. They're all like pretty tight songs. You never lose interest in what's going on. And would like to go through each song, track by track, but that would take me forever. But I was really impressed with this album. This might be like, it's definitely top 10 for me. I don't know. This is like one of the best things I've heard, not only just this year, but in a really long time. If you're looking for something new and exciting that's, you like the style of music, and the ones I've mentioned there, you're gonna like this. And you don't even really have to go in with an open mind. I think this one actually will open your mind for you, which is awesome. So can't say enough good about this one. Definitely worth checking out. I would recommend this album to anybody who's especially into progressive music, or if you're a gent fan, you're looking to like expand your horizons, something else, this might get you in. I don't want to like make it sound like there's a lot of gent here. There isn't. There's just little touches of it here and there. And very melodic, a lot of vocal harmonies, and just amazing musicianship all around. Great production too. So I don't know, I'm probably forgetting stuff I wanted to say, but that's usually how it goes. So anyway, feel free to share your thoughts on this one if you've heard it, and if you haven't, check it out and then come back and tell me. And like, share, and subscribe so we can get this music out there for more people to hear, and all that fun stuff. So we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.